Congratulations. I love this film so much. And it's going to be hard to talk about it without spoiling any of it. How hard has it been for you keeping the secrets of the film?
Really, really hard. I mean, right at the very beginning when we sort of talked about telling people about this film, I was like, so guys, we've got the trailer. I don't know how you're going to do the trailer, but you can't tell them anything about the film, and we can't give anything away in the interviews, and we can't mention this, and this. And they were like, right, okay, well, we've got to tell people about the movie. So it's been really challenging, and I guess my own experience of when I first read the script was just delicious in terms of all of those sort of twists and turns and the revelations in there, and I would just hope that anyone coming to this would want to be as clueless as possible about the plot. So yeah, I'd encourage you to go and watch the film and then come and read about it afterwards.
Absolutely. And like you said, you read the script, and how fun was it piecing together the layers? Because it's so like entrenched in these little intricacies and layers. How much fun was that putting it onto the screen?
I think a job as a filmmaker is to build as many veneers as you possibly can and to try and distract and deflect the audience as much as possible, because that's the fun and that's what I enjoy, is because you're constantly always going, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Oh, I know what's going to happen next. Oh, this person's going to do that. Oh, that's going to happen. And the more that we can surprise you as an audience, I think it's more, the more delicious it is. And Brian and Alex have written a brilliant script, and they had, all of the DNA of those sort of twists and turns were in there. It was like a sort of comic, devious thriller that has these twists and turns that, in my opinion, sort of built like this high-stakes poker game.
Amazing. And a lot of that has to do with the great acting and the bluff of the characters. Yeah. So how fun was that casting and getting these people on board to play these kind of like dual roles?
I mean, the casting is, when I came on board, Julianne Moore was already within the project. She was a producer on the project, and she was Madeline. So that was one of the main reasons why I came on to do this film, because I was like, okay, we've got this great script and we've got Julianne Moore, what is there not to like? And then after that, we began the brilliant process of who's going to play Max, who's going to play Tom, who's going to play Sandra, who's going to play Richard. And that is the great sort of, the great games that the great Monopoly game that you play in terms of sort of who are the best fits, who are best gonna inhabit these characters and represent them on screen. One of the other things is that we talked a lot about with amongst me and the other actors was just about not giving anything away. As sometimes as actors, you sort of want to have a nod and a wink to something that's happening, and so we had to be on our guard all the way through the movie to never allude or tip our hat to the audience about everything, because in real life that doesn't happen. When we are, I think just sort of various levels of deception happen all the time, not necessarily for nefarious reasons, because sometimes you might do it out of an act of kindness, but I think we generally, when we're doing that, we are in that and we believe it and we are committed to that, and that's something that I wanted all the actors to do in the movie.
Amazing, and it works so well.
Great.
I do have to mention, because you work with one of my favourite composers, Clint Mansell, on the amazing score. What was that like? And because it's so gorgeous in this film.
I'm so glad you asked that question. I love Clint, and I've loved Clint from when I first heard that score in Pi or in Requiem, and he changed for me how you can do score in a movie. And when I came on board this and I had my sort of dream list of who I'd like to work with, Clint was at the top of that list. And fortunately for us, he was available and free, and we spoke, and he enjoyed all the same things about the script that I loved. And we also, it's a weird sort of fact, that we're from the same place in the West Midlands, in a small town called Stourbridge. So the fact that both of us had kind of grown up in this small town in the West Midlands, and we're now making Hollywood movies, sort of amused us no end. So there was a connection over that, of a kind of familiarity, but also just about the sort of tone and the mood of the score that I knew that he could bring to this film.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. You've been wonderful.
My pleasure.
And this film is such great fun.
Thanks for saying that.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey, you guys!